Yo, what is up, guys? Today is January 5th, and I'm going to be talking today, doing another book review. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm excited because I was in New York recently, and I was able to bring back a bunch of my books from New York that had been at my grandparents' house for a while. One of those books is 0 to 1, and this is a book that I read, oh man, I guess it's going on 2 years ago now. Yeah, it was beginning of 2017, sometime in Q1 of 2017, and this book has had a profound impact on my thinking in terms of business and investing. And the book was written by Peter Thiel, I think I said his last name correctly, who is a renowned entrepreneur and investor. He was one of the founders of PayPal, the notorious PayPal Mafia, as they call it. And he wrote this book, 0 to 1, and basically which he talks about his thesis for successful companies, and how to think about investing and building successful companies in the context of startups, which he defines as companies that are small and nimble enough to not have the bureaucracy of larger corporations. And I wrote a couple of notes down because honestly this book is just chock full of brilliant quotes. Like you just go through, I was marking, maybe I should show you guys. Just all throughout the book, like I just couldn't get enough of what he was saying. There's just so much marking in here. So many brilliant ideas, so many great takeaways. Like, it's one of those books where every page there's something to be discovered. And I wrote down a couple of notes because it has been a little while since I've read the book, but I wanted to talk about some of the takeaways that I know for a fact have really impacted my thinking in terms of investing and in terms of starting my own company. And I'm going to start with what he says about all happy companies, which he says all happy companies are monopolies. Being a company or being a monopoly, which he gets into what he believes a monopoly is, but basically he says that a company that has a monopoly is someone who's solving like a problem that no one else is solving. And he even goes on to say that like all happy companies have a secret that's hidden from the outside, and this secret is the monopoly. It is what they are planning to solve that no one else is solving. And in this moment of creation is where you go from 0 to 1. Hence where he gets the title for the book. Startups start small. Yes. So how do you create a monopoly? Well, he says the best strategy is to start small and then monopolize. You have to, he talks about how it's better to have a really small market, dominate a really small market and grow. And I started thinking about this in the context of Amazon. I think this is just a great test case and maybe he talked about it in the book, I don't remember, it's been a while, but when Amazon first started, Jeff Bezos, he was just selling books. Obviously Amazon today, we understand it as this massive online retail company. And I believe, and I'm sure that maybe it's already been, spoken to be true, that Jeff Bezos probably had that long-term vision from the very beginning, but he just started with books and he didn't talk about, what his grand vision was. That was hidden from the outside. But the power of having a monopoly, Peter Thiel says, is that you are able to not just worry about cash inflows. Again, Amazon is a great example of this. For the first, maybe it was 10 years of them being in business, I believe they ran in the red. It was for a very long time. They were unprofitable, but it was because of a single pursuit, and in pursuit of that monopoly, that thing that no one else was doing, which in the case of Amazon was basically becoming, like the Walmart of the internet. You're able to not just have to worry about cash flows. And I thought about this in contrary to an industry where, so competition is bad, is what Peter Thiel believes. Like if you're competing, you're not finding yourself in a good position. You want to have a monopoly. And I thought about this in the context of the first business I ever worked for, which was a solar company. Very, very competitive industry because, you know, when you're selling residential solar units, it's really hard to differentiate yourself. And as such, you are constantly battling for, you know, quarterly profits and reports. Peter gets into different ways to incentivize proper behaviors and structure your organization. You know, he gets into alignment of incentives for company employees and people who are willing to take equity in your company, show a long-term commitment to the company. He talks about how the CEO either needs to be the person who makes the least amount of money or the most amount of money, because either he's setting the ceiling for what everyone else will make, or he is, you know, kind of like humbling himself and showing that he is the most committed to the company. He also goes into some details about how to structure, you know, boards of directors versus the executive C-level management. But one thing that I thought was really interesting to hear Peter talk about, a pretty contrarian view. You know, Peter comes from the Silicon Valley world, whatever you want to call it. But he talks about how in the Silicon Valley world, a lot of people just think like this mentality of build it and they will come. And Peter takes a pretty contrarian view in this regards, where he says, you know, sales matter just as much as the product. So marketing matters, sales matters. And that's something that within my own business, right, that I have really been having to eternalize and actualize over the last month, 2 months, 3 months. Sales matter a lot. And yeah, so I guess I already went through. Every great business is built around a secret that is hidden from the outside. And I've thought a lot about this after, you know, just kind of re-skimming through the book, because as some of you may know, I've been building my own company. It's called Rooks and Queens. It's a clothing line, a casual clothing brand for gamers. And there is, I've been trying to think, like, Peter talks about how much do you share about your company? How much do you reveal, and who do you reveal it to? And his answer to this question is you reveal just enough to the individual that needs to know. You give them just enough information that the person needs to know, and you maintain the rest as your own, like, secret, your own ambition, your own trade. I've been building Rooks and Queens now for over a year, and I did a lot of this in silence. I didn't share my idea. I've only recently started being very outspoken on social media about my idea, really promoting myself. And there is a long-term vision. I'm not going to share it. But I started to realize, this book has has shaped the way I approach strategic long-term building of a company. And I could not give it a higher recommendation. It is a 5 out of 5 star book. It's probably a 6 out of 5 star book, honestly. Yeah, any entrepreneur or any growth investor, yeah, so someone who does not value investing but growth investing, I think that this is a crucial read. So that is the book review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've already read this book, or if you think it's something that you could benefit from. If you have any questions about the book, I'd love to answer. Yeah, it's actually pretty pricey. I actually don't remember where I bought this at, but the price on the back says $28, but it's worth every dollar. Definitely, it's a must read. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.